You know, guys, we hear the Biden administration all the time talk about saving children. They want to do this for children, do that for children. In the name of children, obviously they're using children as bait to get people to fall for them. They want people to act on emotion because they realize less educated people are more likely to respond to emotion rather than logic. But I find it a little ironic and somewhat hypocritical that not only do they never ever promote anything that will truly protect children, they've got a really odd way of treating their own family members. But first, go check out my friends CMMG at cmmg.com. These guys are truly an American company and a strong Second Amendment supporting company. You'll find their brand new Descent firearm in several different models, now available for a very limited time in the Putina finish that you see right here. This is my own personal Descent from CMMG. You can get this between now and July 7th in this particular finish, and then it will not be available any longer. The cool thing is you can also use my discount code FTATF, again FTATF, to get a discount on this firearm and all accessories at CMMG.com. Potato Joe Biden's handlers took to his Twitter page here in the last couple of days to make this post. Congress needs to step up and pass common sense gun safety laws to protect our kids and educators. So clearly he's talking about schools. Arming teachers is not the answer. Banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines and ensuring extensive background checks are part of the answer. Okay, first of all, where did this come from? Are they upset that there haven't been any school shootings, so they're bringing this up now? Because usually this is the kind of rhetoric that you hear whenever there's school shootings. Oh, we need to protect the children. Well, apparently they haven't associated and organized enough school shootings, so they're just prancing this out right now for you to look at. But it's disingenuous. They want laws to protect our kids and educators. What has the Biden administration done to protect children? I mean, honestly, what have they done? I don't mean the name of the bill that says we need to protect the children bill. I'm not talking about the fictitious names of these bills that they put out. The Biden administration has not put forth, suggested, signed into law, floated anything. One single thing that would protect a child in a school. Not one. Not one. Any amount of money that they have earmarked or stolen from the American people is simply bribe money to send to the schools to try to tell teachers, educators, and the children that guns are bad. That's it. That's not gun safety. First of all, that's not educating a child properly. Whenever you tell a child that all guns are bad, you're doing nothing to try to promote any kind of real gun safety, because what happens if they come across that gun? What do they do if they find a gun that's unattended with no adult around? Obviously, kids are going to be around guns. It surely wouldn't be a bad idea to teach a child safe handling of a firearm. You know, back when we had these things in schools where we had safe handling of firearms in a school, nobody got shot. Kids weren't accidentally shot. There weren't school shootings. Things were a whole lot simpler then, I get it. But at the same time, we didn't have these same issues we have today with school shootings and children accidentally shooting each other. Why? Because we educated them on firearms, not away from firearms. So the Biden administration, instead of trying to scare people away from guns and create a boogeyman, they should actually be realizing that they have a missed opportunity here, that they could fill that gap, and they don't want to. Now, arming teachers is not the answer. I didn't say arming teachers was the answer. It's not the only answer. Arming teachers is part of the answer. And let me rephrase that. Arming some of the teachers is part of the answer. Have you seen the teachers out there today? Have you seen them? Trust me when I tell you, I don't advocate not 1 minute to arm every teacher out there. Please trust me on this one. I've seen the teachers out there today. We ain't got the cream of the crop out there indoctrinating our children in public schools today, let me tell you. So I'm certainly not advocating for all these goofballs out there to be armed around my child. But it should be an issue where we allow teachers to get the proper training who want it. I don't want every blue-haired scared person out there to go, I don't want a gun, and then force a gun on them. Are you kidding me? Those are the last people I want to be armed around my child. But there are thousands and thousands and thousands of teachers out there more than willing to take the appropriate training, get certified, whatever it needs to be, in order to carry a firearm and be able to utilize it safely to protect not only the children out there, but themselves and other educators who are too cowardly and scared to approach a gun, handle a gun, use a gun in defense of all these children out there. Now, is that the first step? Of course not. Of course not. A killer should never get in the school. That's where the Biden administration is wrong. That's where the Biden administration shows their true colors. They want these school shootings. That's right, I said it. They want these school shootings. Do you know how quickly the Biden administration could make sure that funding was ripped from Ukraine or anywhere else and put directly into our schools to harden those schools to keep bad guys out? There are $535 million a year that Congress uses to protect just members of Congress. $535 million a year to protect 2 square miles in Washington, D.C. with armed people, locking places to where you can't just walk your way right into it. There's the little things that pop up to where you can't drive into these buildings. 2 square miles, we spend $500 million. We can't spend $1 billion on our schools. All the billions that we're sending to Ukraine and everywhere else across the world where no one appreciates it and we get no kind of return. You know what kind of return we get from protecting our schools? Peace and safety of our children. But you won't do that. Joe Biden is a liar. Joe Biden does not want to stop school shootings. Joe Biden wants there to be school shootings because he could easily stop them right now by hardening these schools. He chooses not to. It's a choice they make not to. And I'll say it again. People on the left want to say, oh man, well, we don't want to harden our schools to make them like prisons. I don't see people in prison complaining about not being shot in mass shootings. But we don't ask our children. Let's have a poll. Instead of asking all these left-wing wacko nut jobs out there, hey, do you want to harden our schools? Let's ask the babies. Let's ask the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids. Would you like us to make this school impenetrable from bad guys so they can't walk in the front door and shoot you? You want to ask the right people? Ask the kids. You keep trying to speak for them. Stop speaking for them. Let them speak. Let them tell you, yeah, man. They're going to tell you straight up. That guy standing over there armed, or these ballards that we have in front of the door, this kind of security system that we have, when I walk through those doors, I know that I'm safe because nobody else can get in. That's what they're going to tell you. They're not going to tell you, it feels like a prison. I feel like a prisoner in school. No, they're not going to say that. Come on, let's get real. You're not giving the kids a chance to speak for themselves. They want to be safe, but you choose not to let them get safe because school shootings further your agenda. And this idiot, or at least his handlers, make the jump somehow when we're talking about protecting children and educators. Banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines and ensuring extensive background checks are part of the answer. How is that part of the answer? That's not even a part of the answer. It's not even a smidgen of the answer. If you ban those things, you still have a person that decides they want to kill children. And as long as that front door to that school is open, you've given them easy access. This is a gun-free zone that you have created, and you have allowed an environment to exist where the only person guaranteed to be armed on property is the bad guy who wants to kill people inside that school. It's got nothing to do with assault weapons or magazines. Nothing. If you magically made every AR-15 in the world disappear and no ability to ever make another AR-15, do you think somebody would all of a sudden stop wanting to shoot up a school? No. If you believe that, you're stupid. If you believe that, you have a screw loose and you have no way of being logical or reasoning in any kind of a situation. I wouldn't want you to chew bubblegum and open a doorknob at the same time for fear that something catastrophic would happen if you truly believe that. You can't be that stupid. But one of the things that perplexes me most about this guy riding on the backs of dead children, because it's a good thing for him, is that even if you take him serious or his handler serious, again, I know Joe Biden doesn't know what this post says. Somebody's pulling the strings. It's not Joe Biden. It's his freaking handlers doing this. But nevertheless, if you even take them at their word for one quick moment that they care about kids, the Biden administration has quickly and swiftly made it clear that they don't care about some children, but they have a 4-year-old granddaughter out there that they have yet to acknowledge. They have painstakingly avoided this person being in their life. Let me explain something real quick, and I want to show you how devious this Biden family is and how disgusting they are. It's not like this grandbaby is a secret, right? It's not a secret. It was public knowledge back in 2018, 2019 when he knocked the girl up. Then he had the baby. Then there was a dispute about whether or not it was his kid. Then front headlines, DNA test, Biden, the crackhead, Hunter Biden is the dad. Poor thing, poor baby. Headline news goes to Arkansas for the court proceedings. Headline news. This was not on the back page of a newspaper. Everybody knew this. The Biden administration has even acknowledged the fact that he went over there for the paternity test and for the court proceedings to try to reduce the child support payments that he was making to this child's mother. So it's not like it's a secret. Again, it would be one thing if this was never been spoken of, if nothing had ever hit the newspapers, if nobody knew what was going on. Everybody knows, the White House knows, the Biden family knows that everybody else knows, yet they still will not acknowledge this 4-year-old toddler as being Hunter Biden's. I want you to think about how devious and disgusting that is. I want you to think about that. They know this is their blood. They're making payments to this family of this little girl. So they acknowledge that's their blood. But because Hunter Biden was in a crack-induced haze whenever he knocked this girl up, they're not accepting of it. They accept every single one of their other grandkids who is a blood grandkid, right? Even Hunter's other crackhead kids. I shouldn't say that because it's not their fault that their dad's a crackhead. But nevertheless, this family knows that is their grandbaby. And they will not acknowledge that child. That is a next level evil, if you ask me. So I don't ever want to hear the Biden administration invoking children as their reason for anything, let alone gun control. Whenever they won't acknowledge one of their own, I often wonder, in thinking of this story, if the school where this 4-year-old girl was attacked by some crazed gunman and they shot that 4-year-old girl, would the Biden administration then claim her? Would they then say, my granddaughter was killed by gun violence? I think they would. Evil people, man.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. He's so horrible.